Welcome to Roundtable. Today is April, what is today? 28th. April 28th. Welcome everybody. Let's see, I see we got some new faces, we got some old faces, and we also got some faces I'm used to. There's a joke, you guys, come on. Break the ice. There you go. Yeah. So my name is Nick Card. I'm the Vice President of Operations here at Combined Transport. I am third generation here in the family. I believe you guys got a chance to meet my dad on Wednesday when you went through orientation. So you heard the story of my grandfather and all of his adventures. And so, we try to continue that in all things, being very driver focused in what we do. One of the things we started many years ago was this weekly roundtable meeting. And the idea was to basically, as a good send-off for drivers who come through our orientation, as well as a way for drivers, as you stay out over the road, to stay plugged in, an opportunity for you to meet and hear from different managers in the company, hear what's going on in different divisions, and make sure that you are all regularly a part of it. Just because you're out over the road doesn't mean you're any less part of the company. So we want to make sure you stay plugged in. So if you guys are ever in the yard here on Friday, you're welcome to come in. We're always going to have lunch. We're going to do the roundtables. And so hopefully we'll get to see you guys more often. One of my goals is eventually we'll get this room packed so full we have to have an overflow room for a roundtable. That'll be great. All right, well, so today I wanted to talk about a couple things related to maintenance and safety. This is a topic I'm sure you guys hear a lot of. I'm sure any one of you guys could probably give the talk that I'm about to give. But I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on safety and maintenance and hopefully give you guys a slightly different perspective of why some of this stuff is really important. One of the biggest challenges that we always have in trucking is the pressure from our customers, from our dispatchers. We've got a load and we've got to move it. That's a huge pressure that always stands in front of us. You're going to hear it from your dispatcher. You're probably going to hear it from me at some point in time, right? We've got a load. We got to get it there. At the same time, we have a responsibility to the customer. We also have a responsibility to ourselves and to the motoring public. We have a responsibility to the FMCSA and the rules that govern our industry. We have a lot of different pieces. But you know who's going to be yelling in your ear? It's not the DOT inspector every day calling you up saying, hey, did you get safe? Hey, are you safe? Hey, are you following the rules? It's going to be your dispatcher going, hey, are you going to get there on time? Hey, are you going to get there on time, right? So one of the things that we talk a lot about here is making sure that we each know our role in terms of what we've got to do. As a dispatcher, our sales guys, their role is to get you loads, to make sure you have miles, to get you paid. They take that role seriously. And the sooner you can deliver, the sooner you can pick up, the more miles you're going to run, the bigger your paycheck's going to be. And they want that for you. But you also have your roles and responsibilities. If you get there and you're not safe, that's a problem, right? What is that number one expectation we have for you guys? Safety. And we take that very seriously, right? We also need to make sure we're compliant. We got to follow the rules. We've got to make sure we take care of our equipment. We've got a lot of these other things, but those are not, they're not going to call you up every day. Melissa, our safety director, isn't going to call you up every day and say, are you safe? I'm not going to call you up every day and say, hey, you're taking care of your equipment. Make sure you take care of your equipment. The call you're going to get every day is from your dispatcher. But that doesn't make those other pieces less important. Just because you don't get that phone call doesn't mean that they don't matter. So when you're out there, when you're thinking about things, make sure that you do what you have to do to keep that safety expectation, keep compliance, keep your equipment. You keep those at the top of the list. We don't put safety, equipment, customer in that order just because. That's the order you guys should be thinking about those when you're out there over the road. Of course, as all of my all of my division managers would tell you, it's like, Nick, you're telling them not to deliver the load on time. They got to deliver the load on time. Yeah, you got to deliver the load on time. Of course, you got to deliver the load on time. But if you're not safe, you're not going to deliver the load on time. If your equipment's not working, you're not going to deliver the load on time. Those have to come first. So on the maintenance side, on the safety side, one of the things that's always really easy is to say, well, let me take care of that later, or it's not that bad, or I think I can make it, or I'm in a hurry. So when I looked at it yesterday, it looked fine, so I'm just going to keep going. Part of your routine as a driver is making sure you do your inspections on equipment. That's one of the best ways for you to fulfill those first two expectations. That's safety and taking care of your equipment, is doing good inspections. Right? When you guys drop trailers off, when you pick trailers up, how do you know if they're safe?
No.
You don't. That's the right answer. You don't until you look at that equipment. So I'll give you an example. This is happened to us just a few weeks ago. We had a driver who came here, identified a trailer. There was a problem, a broken cross member in one of our Blackwell trailers. Brought it here to the yard, dropped it off. And another driver said, hey, we got a load, got to go find a trailer, get going. This other driver hooked to this trailer with broken cross members, did not do an inspection on this trailer. Took it to the customer, gave it to the customer. They loaded it, got it back, did not do an inspection on the trailer. At this point, there were now more broken cross members. Grabbed this trailer and drove 300 miles until finally he got out and did an inspection before he was going over a scale and discovered broken cross members. There's no way this trailer would have made it over broken cross members. This wasn't a few broken cross members in the trailer. The floor of the trailer was sagging. We're lucky we didn't lose the load in the middle of the highway. We couldn't, when we got there to transload it, we were not able to put a forklift on it because it was not safe to put extra weight on that floor. So we had to get one of those really long arm forklifts to go and pick it out of the trailer. If our driver had done an inspection and looked at that trailer, and let me tell you, these broken cross members, they weren't like little cracks up inside. They were sagging down that if you had walked along the side of the trailer and looked at it, you would have seen these cross members. We could have taken care of that issue. And it was sitting here in the yard, so it would have been easy for us to fix. But because that inspection wasn't done, guess what happened? First, we were not safe. We put the motoring public at risk because that load could have gone through the floor of the trailer, and somebody could have been injured by that. We were not taking care of our equipment. That equipment held us up, it held the driver up, it held the customer up, and then, of course, we didn't take care of our customer. Right? We've got to do our inspections. It's really important. But again, inspections don't call you every day to remind you to do them. So you've got to find a way to make that the top of your priority. You got to make sure that you're doing that. You got to understand that the business of trucking, of moving freight from point A to point B, cannot happen until safety happens. It cannot happen until the equipment is good. Yes, that business is important. It pays all of us. Let me tell you, I want to make sure that that business is happening strong. But we've got to do those other pieces first. And that's your guys out there. You've got to have that expectation, right? For some, it's I talk to drivers and I say, hey, so how do you find this for yourself? One of the things I hear from a lot of drivers is I imagine that every single vehicle out there contains my family. And if I'm doing something wrong, then I'm going to put my family at risk. Every single vehicle on the road has got my kids in it, right? That's the attitude I have. So the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I'm like, my kids. And that's the call that I'm going to give myself to make sure I take care of safety, that I take care of my equipment. For some guys, it's pride in the equipment. Some of our drivers have named their trucks, and I think that's great. And it's like, all right, so I've got, one driver's truck's named is Missy for his daughter. She passed away when she was about 6 months old, and so he immortalizes his daughter in Missy. And so I got to make sure Missy's doing strong. She's got everything going. She's going to be there. He never wants Missy to break down because that means that he's letting Missy down if she breaks down. So I'm going to make sure I stay on top. I don't know what might work for you guys. I don't know if you have any ideas, but whatever it is, we got to make sure we do it. We cannot allow the urgent load to get in the way of safety, to get in the way of the equipment, because that's got to come first. That's why those are your top expectations. Those are really important. We talk about inspections a lot. You will hear me or Melissa or Andrea or Jason or a bunch of other guys. You will hear them tell you about inspections all the time. Juan can attest, you have probably heard us talk about inspections a lot. And the reason why we keep talking about it is to remind you guys to find a way to make sure that, however it is for you, you're getting that inspection phone call in your brain every day. Anybody have any thoughts, comments, questions about that? This is a roundtable after all, so I'm always interested in your opinion now that I've sort of blabbed for a bit. Anybody have anything? Juan, usually you always have something to say. So.
Well, I really take it to heart what you said, because most recently I was in the oversized walls, and I found it, actually Rick brought it to my attention. I totally missed it, I'll be honest, I didn't see it. But after he brought it to my attention, I watched it, there was a crack on the side. Mm-hmm. And then when I came in, it was saying, why are you bringing, that's typical. And my response was that when you go across that scale, oversized, they look at everything. And lo and behold, I delivered the next day, the light came on, and we were in the scale for 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. And they went over that me, the truck, the trailer, everything. And I was so happy that we got the sticker. We got the level 1, bam. And it hits hard. And then I could have said, well, I got my sticker. I don't have to do the annual, because the OBI said you got to do an annual. I went into the, was it Willamette Speedco? Failed. I had, man, it said failed. And what it was is the bar on the outside. And the point being is, you can't stop. You think you're on top of it, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I just happened to be in a situation where Speedco cared, and even when they finished the Speedco, he said your drums are fine. And this is after they replaced the bar the next morning. You see your borderline to be illegal. So did that mean that the highway patrol dropped the ball when they did their inspection? Do you see what I'm saying? So the thing is, you can't do the job if your equipment's not safe. Yeah. And I'm a living example of making sure it got fixed, but I didn't catch all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, Juan, you make a really good point, which is you're never on top of it. Something can go wrong at any point in time while you're driving down the road, and so you've always got to assume there's something to catch. You always got to assume there's something that's going wrong, because that attitude will help you find those things. Mm-hmm. If you have an attitude that like everything's fine, then you're not looking for the things that are wrong. You're looking at the things that are right, and you're not going to catch the things that are wrong. So I like that. I remember that the crack in your rail on F-115, and so that was very small hairline crack, but a serious safety risk, and we couldn't have you going down the road with that trailer. So that was a good catch, and that's the kind of thing is something too, and this is, I say this especially for anybody who hasn't been trucking for a while. There's a lot to know about all these trucks and the trailers and what to look for and what to see. And if you don't feel 100% confident and I'm looking at all the right spots and I know what I'm doing and I know what I need to see, well, let us know. That's why we have our supervisors. If you need to spend some time with a mechanic, then you can spend some time with a mechanic and they can walk you through where the structure concerns might be with your trailer. There's a lot of knowledge in this company, and we are happy to share it with you guys to help you do your job better. Part of taking care of your equipment is knowing how to take care of your equipment. And if you don't know, well then help us help you. Help us get you knowing. Because we can teach you most anything, but we don't know to teach you what we don't know you don't know, if you know what I'm saying. So, well, awesome. Well, thank you, Juan. I appreciate sharing.
Something I saw earlier when we were out taking a tour of the yard, the speed limit is supposed to be 10 miles an hour, correct?
Yeah.
Some of these mechanics that are looking at these trucks and they're backing them out and they're taking them over wherever they take them to park, and they're hauling ass. They're doing more than 10 miles an hour.
I will talk with.
Rocks and dust and.
Yeah, no, that's that. I would be happy to talk to the.
Be the number one priority, but then I see something like that, and I'm like, whoa, that's not.
No, that's
Cool, you know?
absolutely right.
It
I'm
just takes one time and it's dead.
Mhm.
That quick.
yeah.
Gone.
Well, I'll definitely bring that up to our shop foreman. So.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
I'll just add one thing. I remember about
Wait.
18 months ago, your dad came across, the other guys were talking about it, and it said that the number one thing is safety. And in safety, that means, he said that basically, if you can't do your job safely, hand over your keys.
Mhm.
Okay, he didn't say you would get fired, he just said, if you're not gonna do the job
Mhm.
safely, hand in your keys, okay? So the thing, and that hit home in the context that, you gotta be safe, you gotta care, you know, treat it like it's, treat it like it's your own truck, your own operator. I mean, go the extra mile, you know what I'm saying? Be safe,
Mhm.
okay?
Gotta be safe.
And, if you see someone not being safe, if you have courage, go up and tell them. If not,
Mhm.
speak to him,
Yeah.
this gentleman here, or whoever, or supervisor, and let them. But when you look good, I try to be better, makes us all look better. When I have shortcomings, it affects all of us. So, love the job with pride. Yep. I try.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a certain term for a failed inspection? I'm used to it being called red tagged.
So yeah, I guess yeah. So that could work. When you say failed inspection, like there's a problem that you've
Yeah,
Yeah.
Here, you bring it in. we
so out of
inspect it.
service basically.
This is out of
We
service, okay.
so equipment goes out of service if it fails inspection.
Okay. Who has the authority to do that?
Anyone,
Anyone. Doesn't matter what position they are.
correct?
Cool. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I couldn't be the steerman, so
Okay.
I want to be.
Yeah, especially on that kind of so you're a junior then?
Yes.
All right, well, welcome junior, good to have you.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, anyone to me can put equipment out of service because that's got to be safe. If something's wrong, it's a lot easier to say stop and then keep going than it is to keep going and wish you would have said stop,
Right.
because you can't go backwards. You can't undo. If it's wrong, you didn't say stop, there's really not a whole lot we can do about that. So anyone can put anything out of service. If you got a problem, if your truck is not safe to operate, you put it out of service. And then we'll get the experts involved. We'll do what we can to assess it. We'll figure out what's happening. What do we need? What's the issue? And a lot of times we've seen, something isn't right, and it could be a lack of understanding. It could be something seems worse than it actually is, and it could be maybe the fix is actually a lot simpler than we realized it was. But again, you can't roll back time and wish you would have said stop. We got to say stop now. So, if your equipment isn't cutting it, if there's a safety concern, if your equipment needs issues, you put it out of service. You let us know. We can't keep operating this safety. So, all right. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate having you here. Welcome. So, it looks like I'm going to be spending where I